We have to go through some safety things right now, so I need everybody to pay attention, okay? Please, you have to listen to this. This is very important. I don't want anybody getting hurt. Does everybody got their seatbelt on?
Yes, sir.
I know, there's no seatbelts. I'm trying to get your attention. Just like on an airplane, when the train is moving, we expect you to remain seated because the track is not perfectly level. So if you get up to move, you may catch it when the track is going this way and end up in your neighbor's lap. Somebody gets hurt. You got this much paperwork to do. Now remember who you're dealing with here, okay? This is the federal government, so there might be some red tape in there somewhere. So, there might be, and also, I retired because I got tired of paperwork. Now, that's the funny part. The more serious part is these windows. The only air conditioning that we have in this car is the windows. If you try to lift them, you'll understand they're very heavy. They also come down on their own. So, I would ask you to keep all of your appendages on the inside because that paperwork is even more. And the other thing I would ask you is if you want to take a selfie with your hand out the window with your camera, make sure you got a lanyard on, because if the camera drops, don't stop. And we have a short ride today because we got some, that went by itself. Yes!
We went by itself.
That window just did it by itself. Well, that's good. It's a short picture. It's a half-hour ride. Down the line, we got the track. And so, a lot of it is their scrap value in steel, so they were able to get rid of all the steel they sold it. However, to remove the concrete, that costs money. Do you think they were going to spend a dime on that? No. And I had a 10-year-old young man on this train riding a hot July day in the 90s, and he looked at that and he said, how come you guys didn't make swimming pools out of those? He had a point. Okay. So, now you'll see on the south side of the car, if you look, we're going to look at it, but right here, that green color tower, that is still used. That's a sand drying tower. We put green sand in there. And no, it doesn't come from Ireland. Green sand is white sand. So we dry it out in that tower right here. And we use that on the protection. Now, if you look on the north side of the car, you got the 29 on it? And a winch in the window. That's right. We have a winch in the window. That is the last. That's called the Jubilee. It's a 444. It's a high-speed intermodal engine. So it traveled at probably a 50-mile radius around Ferguson, Brunswick. But that was the last one that they made of the Jubilee. It's 2929. They have another one left, 2928. That is in the Ottawa Transportation Museum. Those are perfect because like to have money. Now, on the north side of the car, you'll see we've got some starting station. That's for the ramp that goes up into the road, what used to be the bar area. Now, if you look down below, you'll see there's a whole lot more concrete down there. That's because this used to be the old 1941. The last 5 were delivered in 1944. 7 of the first 20 are still around. None of them are running yet. And only 1 of the last 5 is around.
Who's the big boy?
It's a, yeah, that's the big boy. 132 feet, 9.75 inches long. 100 feet right now, this first flight. That is the pulling 3,600 at 80 miles an hour. That was its top end. Now, did they do 80? I have no idea. When this one went online in 1941, they took 5 steam engines off and let this one do the work of 5. Because it could do it. When this one came offline in 1959, they put 5 or 6 diesels on to do what that did by itself. Okay? Big engine, 200 psi, pounds per square inch, 4 cylinders, 16 drive wheels, and 484. So, the middle drivers, the 8 and 8, they're articulated a little bit. Not much. Don't bend. They're not made out of rubber. They're made out of steel. So, they don't bend. So, there's a little bit of that. So, those engines, you couldn't really run them in the east. They're for a couple of reasons. One is, the corners here are too tight, and secondly, the track here isn't heavy enough to hold that. Okay? Now I say 1.2 million pounds coal and water on it, it's 600 tons, which sounds more impressive. 1.2 million pounds. So, anyway, so that's the big boy. We have the only one on the East Coast. The next closest one is in St. Louis. There's one outside of Dallas. There's one in Green Bay. The only one left from the 1944 delivery is the 4023. That's in Omaha. Cheyenne has 2, and the last one's up in Denver. That's the 4005. Cheyenne has 2 engines. One's 4004 sits in a park. The 4014 is in the shop, and it's being rebuilt to the tune of $15+ million. Remember now, and you don't know, but I do, that engine brand new is about $265,000 in 1941. A lot of money. That's a lot of money. But they're going to rebuild one for one reason. May 10th, 2019. Anybody know what significant?
150,000 anniversary of the Transcontinental Railroad.
I was going to say that.
Driving on the Golden Spike. Yes. And it's not going to be a promontory point. It's just a monument there. They're going to Provo. And where the Union Pacific is going to go with what they consider their key engine, which is the big boy. They were the only ones that had the big boy. Okay? So they're going there, and if you remember back in your history, that when Abraham Lincoln signed the bill to connect the 2 coasts, the Union Pacific was the railroad he chose from the east. The Central and Western Pacific railroads were the ones that were to come from the west. Well, guess who owns the Central and the Western? The Union Pacific. So they're going with their signature engine, the big boy. Okay, the 4014. Okay, now we're sitting in LA. They looked it up. Ours they thought was in really good shape. We're very restorable. But it's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. No. And as I said, this is one man's collection. Nelson Buck, we know a little bit about him. His vision was when the railroads were moving from steam to diesel, they were scrapping all the steam. Right? And he was afraid that at some point in time there would be no steam left in this country. He was probably right to a degree. And a picture doesn't tell you. If you look at a picture of a big boy, it doesn't tell you anything about it. But to stand next to it, touch it, feel it, take a vibe, it's a big deal. So this idea was to collect as much of this stuff as he could. And it was so funny. So the railroad was going to scrap something, he'd just go and say, what are you those days was something called telltale. Wires that hung down. So if I'm going with it, those wires sit like that, I go immediately to the top because that goes something behind me. And if you look on the south side of the car, you'll see them right there. Those wires that are hanging down, those have been there since the like 1860, 1859, 1860. Those are the telltales. Now, we were commenting on it earlier today that that's awfully close to this bridge. But I'm thinking that this bridge was not this wide back in the 1860s. It might have been 2 tracks over there, but it was not here. So that gave them enough time. When they felt that on their back, they dropped and they were safe. All they had to do was be below the handle, because all the bridges were high enough so the handle could get underneath. That's how they used to break them. Now it's a total different system. Okay? But the old braking systems were somebody, a train man on the top, so on the back, running the brakes on it. Telltale, yep, that's what they call it, telltale. So, we don't usually get back here because there's usually all kinds of equipment back here that belong to the local railroad of Delaware and Lackawanna, okay? And it's not to be confused with the DL&W, the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad, like a lot of the guys used to call it, the LA Weight and Light Railroad.
Forward.
He worked for us. So anyway,
He's going to go backwards once he gets to the stopping point though. Which by the time, he will go backwards at one point, which I, like, then I was like...
On the north side of the car, you're going to have kind of obscured by a tree. You can see there's a little cover over the house outside, not the church, but behind that tree. When you pass it, you'll see it's around the right. That's the old Central Railroad of New Jersey's right office right there. We are doing on these train rides is we are throwing all the switches, and the same with the DL. And this is an old switching top here. They don't want to do that. Okay? We have all the switches right there. you'll see, I don't think we're gonna get up there far enough. Hold on. See, there's a big building over there. That's the old erecting building, erecting shop. They could put 40 steam engines in there back in the day, back in the 30s and early 40s, when they were running 3,600 or 4,000 people working there 24/7. They could put 40 steam engines in there. Steam engine hit 1,472 days between Steamtown and the park. Now you know that. What do you think they're going to is 26? Well, this is 14 years. It's been 16 years. Generating unit inside of it, they fire it up, and when the diesel engine will pull the passenger and ready to go, they hook it up, if you're in the south during those times, already feel small items in here, you don't have to worry about it. If you're in the north and the south, it's a different thing about it. So, that's how they did that. They have a road generating steam, so all of those because there was money in the scramble but for heating, that's the only thing that's left. That's because it costs a lot. You know, he managed to scrap up a lot of neat stuff. We have a lot of Canadian Pacific and Canadian National Indians as you wander through our yard here. Because they were Canadian than we did down here. One second, what's your question? Oh yeah, you're gonna get off of this.
He's had enough.
I don't blame you, I would too. Especially after that motion. Yeah, we will be getting off this. What we're doing now is they're gonna make a switch, and they're changing the switch, and we're gonna go back to where we started.
That means they have to change the track over.
That's exactly what we're doing today. And what we're trying to do here is show you what it's like in the yard and to move stuff around the yard. That's what we do all day long. Don't want to have them down. Okay. You have a question? Because it's going to keep me confused. That's why. It doesn't take much to keep me confused. So, other questions, sir? Question. Yes, sir. Sir. Question. Please, sir. that goes down to the Delaware water gap and into.
That's just a general front line.
That goes up, we go out to Toby Hanna almost every day, the local place. Toby Hanna's an old Army people, not old, but still existing. We deliver out there, the local place in Steamtown. That's the Delaware water line, out there every day. They can't get there. That's why we weren't going to get there anyway today. I don't know. Australia. We're in Australia. South Australia. Okay? There. I've been there. Yeah. In May. Yeah. Well, you know we got cold. So now in New Zealand. You couldn't do that. It's well, actually, Australia was awesome. I got to see the two things I always wanted to see. I was surprised. Because this is the last year they're going to have an opportunity. I guess a year from this October, they're going to put down the cables. Because it is a sacred mountain. They are the entire diverging of the entire completely at the top of the power. A few years ago, there was much another way to do it. So you have one part, you go to the keyhole and down the speed, you know, shuffle that like this. Most people do that with their knees. Because you look to your right, 4,000 feet. But no, we had the Opera House blew us away. Sydney's Opera House. Oh, it's gorgeous. Yeah. We did the bridge. We took the train across, and then we walked back. And I couldn't believe the number of people that were there to prevent, even though you got the Constantino line, to prevent people from taking down. Yeah. But we went up to one of the towers, which are not there for support, they're just decoration, we find out. And you get up to the 20 steps, and you can get up there and look out right at the steps that go up over the top. But for $400, I don't know, hey, you're not a thing on the tax to put on front. You're up around about the problem. We saw kangaroos, ballroom, over there, we didn't see that. Tried to learn to play the didgeridoo. The music teacher. Which also played that. We had a great trip. It's 450. I was there like I was a yeah, well, I would have heard it too, you know. When Mark was 20, I was 21. We got married in this state, my parents had to give her permission because she broke up. That was in 1968. That's your 1865 building right there, on the south side, and we were still using it, so if you take the track to the afternoon, you'll be in that building. And it's okay to bring one of those old muskets that they use where you pack the cotton down on the ball and they put the gunpowder, keep it dry, you know. And it's okay to do that in there. That's still allowed. Well, no, it isn't, but I like to say it anyway. Okay. Did we hear the one whistle yet?
Nope.
We can't move. Have to stay seated. Oh, we're still moving. That's why we didn't hear the whistle yet.
The blockage, is it going to prevent the special train running on the weekends before?
We're hoping not. We don't know, we've had a lot of phone calls about that today. If anybody who's interested, okay, one, that means the brakes are locked, it's safe to move up. You can undo your seatbelts and walk on. But if anybody was planning on doing any riding on this, coming back on this weekend to do one of the longer rides, we don't know yet how much that is, the rain, the outside is.
the rain that we got.
I'll tell you what, they will get that done.